Cancer. The word itself conjures images of relentless invasion, of a body turning against itself. For decades, it has been a medical enigma, a silent predator claiming millions. But what if everything we thought we knew about this disease was fundamentally flawed? What if its true origins lay not in rogue cells, but in a deeper, more insidious process? In 1945, a controversial scientist, already exiled from Europe and battling the scientific establishment, published a book that dared to redefine cancer. He called it a biopathy, a disease of the entire organism, rooted in a profound energetic stagnation. Wilhelm Reich wasn't just talking about tumors. He was talking about a fundamental breakdown of life itself, and he claimed to have found a way to reverse it. What if the cure for humanity's most feared disease was suppressed? Not because it didn't work, but because the truth it revealed threatened the core of the medical industry. This isn't just a medical history lesson. This is a journey into the forbidden frontiers of science, where the very nature of life and death was challenged. Stay with us, because the answers might just change how you see your own body, your health, and the hidden forces that control our world. Reich's journey into cancer began not in his lab looking into a petri dish, but in his clinical observations of human suffering. He saw a pattern. Chronic emotional repression, particularly of sexual energy, led to a physical armoring, a tightening of muscles, a stagnation of the body's natural energetic flow. This wasn't just psychological, it was a biological reality. He termed this process biopathic contraction. Think of it as your body literally holding its breath for years, slowly suffocating its own vitality. For Reich, cancer wasn't an isolated tumor, but the terminal stage of this systemic biopathic contraction. Imagine a living organism, constantly pulsating, expanding, and contracting in harmony with its environment. When this natural pulsation is inhibited by chronic stress, emotional trauma, or societal suppression, the organism begins to shrink. To lose its natural vitality, Reich observed that cancerous cells, unlike healthy ones, are characterized by their immobility, their shrunken, rigid forms, and their inability to fully expand. Could the constant pressure to conform, to suppress our true feelings, be literally making us sick? He theorized that these shrunken, decaying cells, which he called bacilli, were the precursors to cancer. They were not invaders, but a product of the body's own energetic stagnation. In his view, the tumor was merely the final visible manifestation of a process that had been unfolding for years, even decades, within the organism. This was a radical departure from conventional medicine, which focused on the tumor as the primary enemy. Reich saw the entire organism as the patient, and the energetic state of that organism as the key to understanding and treating the disease. This isn't just about cancer. It's about understanding the fundamental mechanics of life and death within your own body. But if cancer was a disease of energetic stagnation, what could possibly reignite the body's natural life force? The answer, for Reich, lay in a discovery he had made years earlier. A discovery that would become the cornerstone of his medical applications, orgone energy. And what happened next would shake the foundations of medicine, and ultimately, cost him his freedom. Having identified orgone as the fundamental life energy, Reich naturally turned his attention to its therapeutic applications. If biopathic contraction was the root of disease, then restoring the free flow of orgone in the body should be the path to health. His primary tool for this was the orgone accumulator, a device we've explored in previous episodes. But in the Cancer Biopathy, Reich details its specific use in medical contexts, particularly for cancer patients. Imagine a device that could literally recharge your body's life battery. Patients would sit inside these accumulators, absorbing the concentrated atmospheric orgone energy. Reich meticulously documented their responses: increased vitality, improved mood, reduction in pain, and in some cases, even the regression of tumors. He believed the accumulator worked by flooding the body with healthy orgone energy, thereby reversing the biopathic contraction and restoring the natural pulsation of the cells. He wasn't just treating symptoms, he was attempting to awaken the body's innate healing intelligence. Reich's approach was holistic. He didn't just treat the symptoms, he aimed to address the underlying energetic imbalance. He saw the accumulator as a tool to support the body's innate self-healing capabilities, allowing the organism to breathe again, both physically and emotionally. This was a radical departure from the conventional medical paradigm, which focused on surgical removal, radiation, or chemotherapy, treatments that, in Reich's view, further damaged the organism's energetic field. He dared to suggest that the very treatments meant to save us might be further depleting our life force. But the claims Reich made were extraordinary, and the medical establishment was not prepared to accept them. What happened when a doctor dared to challenge the very foundations of cancer treatment? The answer involves a relentless campaign of persecution that would ultimately lead to Reich's tragic downfall. And the shocking truth is, this wasn't just about science, it was about power. The publication of the Cancer Biopathy was not met with scientific curiosity, but with outrage and condemnation. The medical establishment, deeply entrenched in its own paradigms, viewed Reich's theories as pseudoscience and his treatments as dangerous quackery. They saw a charlatan preying on the vulnerable, not a scientist exploring new frontiers. But was their outrage truly about patient safety, or about protecting a multi-billion-dollar industry? The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, became Reich's most formidable adversary. They launched an investigation, not into the efficacy of his treatments, but into the legality of his devices. In their view, the Orgone accumulator was an unproven medical device, and Reich's claims were fraudulent. This wasn't just a regulatory dispute, it was a battle for the very soul of medicine. They weren't just regulating, they were eradicating an idea. The climax came in 1954, when the FDA obtained a federal injunction against Reich, prohibiting the interstate shipment of Orgone accumulators in all his publications. The injunction was unprecedented in its scope, demanding the physical destruction of his books and devices. This wasn't just about protecting the public, it was about erasing an entire body of work, a radical alternative to the dominant medical narrative. Imagine a world where a potential cure is burned, not tested. But was this suppression justified? Or did the medical establishment, in its zeal to protect its own territory, inadvertently bury a potential key to understanding and treating one of humanity's most devastating diseases? The implications of Reich's work, even if flawed, are still echoing today. And the chilling question remains, what else have they hidden from us? Decades after Reich's death, his work remains highly controversial, largely dismissed by mainstream science. Yet, the questions he raised about the energetic basis of life, the connection between mind and body, and the systemic nature of disease continue to resonate. Modern research, particularly in fields like epigenetics and bioenergetics, is beginning to explore concepts that, while not directly endorsing Orgone, touch upon the very principles Reich was investigating. Are we finally catching up to what Reich glimpsed almost a century ago? For example, the concept of chronic stress leading to physical illness, or the idea that emotional trauma can manifest as physical symptoms, are now widely accepted. While Reich's specific theories about Orgone energy are not scientifically validated, his insistence on the holistic nature of health and disease, and the importance of energetic flow, finds surprising parallels in contemporary alternative and integrative medicine. It seems the quack of yesterday might be the visionary of tomorrow. So, was Wilhelm Reich a genius who glimpsed a truth too profound for his time, or a deluded charlatan? The answer, as always, is complex. But the Cancer Biopathy forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. What if the body's ability to heal is far greater than we imagine? What if our emotional and energetic states play a more profound role in disease than we're willing to admit? And what happens when a discovery, however unconventional, challenges the very foundations of established power? Your health, your freedom, your understanding of reality. It all hinges on these questions. The story of Reich's cancer research is a stark reminder that the pursuit of knowledge is rarely a straight line. And sometimes, the most revolutionary ideas are the ones that face the fiercest resistance. But the implications of his work extend far beyond the medical field. They touch upon the very nature of freedom, control, and the hidden forces that shape our lives. And the journey to uncover these truths is far from over. Wilhelm Reich's The Cancer Biopathy is more than just a book about a controversial medical theory. It's a testament to the human spirit's relentless quest for understanding, and a chilling warning about the dangers of intellectual suppression. It forces us to ask, what other truths have been buried? What other potential cures remain undiscovered, simply because they don't fit the prevailing narrative? The power to question, to seek, to know. That power is yours. Don't let them control what you know. Watch next, Reich's most scathing critique of humanity. Listen, little man, a direct and brutal analysis of the little man inside all of us who fears freedom and sabotages his own liberation. Subscribe to Wilhelm Reich, The Silenced Truth, for more forbidden science, untold stories, and radical perspectives that challenge the status quo. Join our growing community of truth seekers. Do you believe Reich's organ theory holds a hidden truth about cancer? Or was it pure pseudoscience? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep the conversation alive and challenge the narratives. Share this video with anyone who questions conventional wisdom, who seeks deeper truths. The truth deserves to be heard, and the conversation deserves to continue.